How's it going, everyone? I am back with another GTA 5 Girl Mastermind video, and this one is with the prison break. So this is pretty easy if you just follow the steps that we do here. So we already got the fixer job done, so now let's get started with the prison break. So you're gonna be using the same crew here as always on every job. And this first job, this is the plane. So everyone, I recommend to get a crewman out, or if you don't have one, just to hop in with someone who does. We're just gonna hop in, and all I'm gonna be doing here is just driving over to the Mackenzie airfield, all the way up in Grapeseed. So I'm just gonna go ahead and skip to where we finally get to our destination. Alright, so we're pulling up. So there's gonna be these 3 gas tanks that are just laying around kind of over by the entrance. I recommend to just blow those up when you get here, so that you don't run into the accident of them blowing it up when you're just next to it and they kill you. So you can blow those up when you get there, which is what my friend was doing, and you'll see here soon that they're all blown up. But now just everyone just stay in their Kuruma, and you can just gun these guys down. There's about like probably close to 50 enemies. Just watch out, because there'll be times that you think you got everybody, then all of a sudden 3 seconds later like 4 more cars will just spawn in. But once you do that, me as the pilot will get in the plane here after we've killed all the enemies and made sure of that. You're just gonna have all my friends there, and the Kurumas blocking or taking out every car that was in my way. As you can see here, my friend the white Kuruma takes that white SUV and kind of pushes it off to the side. Then I tell them that I'm going to be coming by until they stay put, and then I just gain as much speed as I can before I take off, so I can fly faster. And then basically now you're just flying all the way back over to LSIA, to the hangar, to the drop off. So here's me landing. Make sure you don't crash it or blow yourself up here. Just do a nice and smooth, gentle landing with the plane. So maybe you want to have your best pilot be doing this, but it's not that hard. If you've been playing for a bit, you'll probably be able to do this. But right there is us finishing the job. So there we've got the first setup done with us getting the Velum plane, dropping it off, and this one's pretty easy. One of the easier ones in my opinion, just because we get to stay in our Kurumas. But just make sure you can also use an insurgent on this first setup, or the insurgent pickup custom, I should say, not the normal insurgent. But I just prefer the Kuruma because I can be out on my own, and also the gunner in the pickup custom can sometimes get shot and die, so just be aware of that. But that's how you do the first setup. Let's go to number 2. Alright, so here we are all. So make sure you have that outfit on too, and this time you can just get a fast car, because there's really no difference. You're not going to be doing a whole lot of enemies on this job. Or we're really not going to be dealing with any enemies, but we're just going to be going all the way out to this prison bus here, which is in LSIA, or not LSIA, what am I saying? It's all the way out in Sandy Shores, or Blaine County, same area, by the prison. And I'll just go ahead and skip us to the prison. Alright, so we're here again in the bus. So I recommend that you get in front of the bus driver, or in front of the bus, and just shoot him, because it's a lot easier. You can get a pretty good shot, and just like how I did, I literally just shot like 2 or 3 bullets and killed the dude, and it took me less than 3 seconds. So you don't have to get everybody in the bus, just have one person driving the bus, and that's it. And at this point now, everyone's just gonna need to lose the cops. I recommend that you in the bus, and probably just your entire crew really, go over off this road over here and come by these hills. It's closer to the Alamo Sea and stuff, if you don't know where I'm exactly going. But just kind of avoid as many rocks and try not to crash, because there's a lot of obstacles like bushes and trees and random wooden posts like these ones, and metal fences. But just come up this like little trail here, I guess, and you're gonna get into these hills. And as you see my radar, I'm basically already lost the cops. But all you're gonna do is just come up here, wait for the cop to go away, and that's basically about it for this one. This is probably the easiest, one of the easiest, because there's really only one enemy, and that's the guy driving the bus. But as you see here, me and my friend are up here in the hills, kind of just waiting for us to lose the cops, and then eventually our team. And then now, after that, we're just gonna drive the bus to the drop off. Alright, so everyone lost the cops. We got the bus to the drop off. So there's the second setup done. The next two are a little bit more complicated, but still aren't that difficult if you just follow the tips here, and also have you know follow the rules. Make sure you're always putting every job on hard, and also put every job on player saved outfits that you can, because you can always use those outfits with the armor on. But that's the second setup, so let's go ahead and get on to the third one. Alright, so this one's gonna be split up by two teams. There's the cops, or the fake cops, and there's the two people going to the cargo ship. The cops, all they have to really do is they can just call 911 on their phones and have a police car come to them, and then just get away from the cops. That's pretty easy. But me and my other crew member, we're gonna be doing the cargo ship, because this one's a little bit more complicated, but we know a little tip here to make it really easy. So let's go ahead and cut to us getting into the ship. Alright, so once you pull up, you're gonna come over here to this first crane, and you're gonna see this yellow ladder kind of over here to the left side closest to the ship. So you're just gonna hop out of your car here, and we're gonna climb up this ladder, and we're going pretty high up. Just make sure you and your friend, you don't end up killing yourselves here and don't fall off the ladder, but if you're cautious of that, you won't. And also it's pretty easy not to fall off. Just make sure you're always tapping, you know, the button to keep on going up, because as you see here, we're getting pretty high up, and if we fall, we're dead, even with the armor. So as you see here, make sure you always check to see if you have a parachute. I do not, so what you can do is right over here, if you got on this little ladder, all you gotta do is go over by these posts, and there'll be a parachute bag just waiting for you, so you can go ahead and pick that up. But now, as you see, my friend, he already had one, so he's just gonna sit up there. So we're gonna go back up this ladder here. We're gonna go up on this big beam right here, and I'm gonna pull out a suppressed weapon. Doesn't really matter, but I just recommend a suppressed weapon. And there's these three enemies down there that you can see. We just need to take out these three guys. They'll usually, you know, see you a lot when you're aiming down onto them. So at this point, it doesn't really matter if you have a suppressed weapon, but I'm just using, you know, my AR there. So you're gonna pull your parachute as soon as you can, and you're just gonna land right where these two guys are. And then now you're gonna have to just break that lock right there, and that's basically it for the cargo ship team. So now you're just see this little cutscene here in this car. So we're gonna pull it on out, and if you recognize here, or if you look closely, you can see that my teammate in the car with me, he is not shooting, because if you shoot, you'll get the cops on you, and then that will just cause a big problem with having to deal with the cops and like the gangsters or whatever those guys are. But I mean, just make sure you do not shoot a bullet at them, and try not to crash it too much, because these guys will catch up to you and kill you. So if you're a good driver, just to have your teammate not shoot or pull out a gun, and also just be careful where you're driving. Sometimes I do crash, but if you want to, I like to take a little bit of a right turn right here, just to kind of go off that main road and get away from a few of them. But if obviously you get kind of pinned and boxed in by them, then yes, you can shoot them. But if you don't have to, do not shoot if you're kind of in the clear and just going on a straightaway like how we are now. But let's go ahead and skip to the drop off. Alright, so we got the car delivered, and now we just waited for the other team to finish their part. So we got this third setup done here. Now the next one's also going to be pretty similar to this, except well, the layout of it, but there's going to be different objectives, obviously. And it's pretty simple if you just follow our tips here. But let's go ahead and get this last setup going. So this one, you don't really need the armor, but you definitely need a Kuruma for the team that's doing the city hall part. So I'm gonna get in my Kuruma here, and basically we're just gonna be driving over to this one spot. You're gonna want your best snipers, or you know, two people who are cooperative and able to do it, be sniping. But I'm just gonna go ahead and cut us on over to where the vantage point is with the ladder. Alright, park your car like how I do there, so that once we get done, we can easily hop in the Kuruma, because we're gonna be needing that, especially we're gonna be needing the Kuruma for the city hall team. So you're just gonna crawl up that first ladder, or climb it, and we're gonna go up the second one here, and then we're gonna be pulling out my sniper. You and your teammate are gonna be pulling out your snipers, and you're gonna come over here to this yellow point. And now you're gonna be sitting here waiting for a kind of a black sedan to pull up. It usually only takes about 10 to 20 seconds, so it doesn't take too long. But also, I told my teammate here to stop aiming just so that we don't like somehow alert the guards as they're driving. But as you look down, you can see the black car pulling up now. So there's gonna be two people inside this car, a passenger and the driver. Or on the driver's side, there's gonna be one. So you're just gonna be doing that 1, 2, 3 shoot tactic. Basically, we do like every heist, sort of like the deliver EMP in the casino heist. So you see there, we kind of drop them dead at the same moment. And then now you're just going to get off this roof as fast as possible, because now there's going to be cops coming to that location really quickly. And be safe with this ladder. This is how you can go down safely. Just pull out your gun and aim it. You don't have to walk backwards or anything. Just go over to the ladder. And then you can just slide down and then hop in the Kuruma, because we parked right here, so this would be safe. So now make sure you watch out for doors or anything. We're just going to come up here to the city hall, and then we're going to go up to the stairs, park our car right to the suitcase, drop out, get it, get back in. And then now you can just go ahead and leave the area and lose the cops. So to lose the cops, I recommend that you kind of go down this highway right here, and we're going to be going just a little bit further down the highway. And there's going to be this tunnel. This is what we use during the casino heist. If you don't use the helicopter during the casino heist. So you're just going to go in this tunnel. You don't have to go too far down. I just go off this right here. Turn the car around. Also above you, there's going to be this gate. Make sure you're not underneath that, because sometimes the cops can see you through that. But you can just go right here and chill out and park your car. And just wait for you to lose the cops. Once you do that, you're just going to be taking the stuff back to your apartment. And that will be it. So let's go ahead and skip to the end. Alright, so we got the stuff dropped off here. And this is basically it for this job. Once your team has killed Popov and his gang, basically, that's going to be it for this job. Now we just have one last thing to do, and that's the actual prison break heist. Now this is probably, the prison break heist is really hard for new players, but if you watch this how we do it, it makes it probably the easiest one in my opinion, or one of the easiest, and it just takes out really everything that's wrong with it. So let's get done and go to the heist here. Alright, so here you can't use your outfits with the armor, sadly, because the game doesn't let you, but you can use a fast car, because we're not going to be using anything. I'm the demolition, so the prison, I would say the prison officer should be the player that's probably not the greatest gunner, and then the prisoner be the best gunner. But as a demolition, as you saw there, I just got in front of the bus and shot the guy, because that makes it way easier than just shooting him from the back. And also I kind of rammed into the front of the bus with my car to slow it down faster. But we're just going to pull the guy out, get in the bus, and now I'm going to skip, we're over here at the helicopter. So as a demolition, you do not need to protect the pilot. The pilot will just be doing their own thing. But you see here, the pilot, they're actually flying behind of the Hydra. This is so that the Hydra cannot get them. It keeps them safe the entire job, and it should not attack them. And just make sure you have your best pilot doing that. And then you as the demolition, you're going to go over here by the prison, and you see this road that kind of goes around the prison before the gates, where the kind of the poles are next to it. That you do not want to go across that road or get close to it, or too close. And you're just going to basically come over here to the prison and protect the prisoner and prison guard and Rashkovsky, because you doing this for them will make the job, well, you will easily be killing probably a majority of the dudes here. I think I killed around maybe 50 to 80% of the dudes, the enemies, whenever we did this job. And you make this job way easier for the prisoner and the prison officer, and also your pilot. He's just going to be flying around behind the Hydra for the entire 10 minutes or so that you're doing this. Maybe not that long, 5 to 10 minutes. But I'm just going to go ahead and skip to the part where basically the prisoner and prison officer are leaving the prison, and you're just gonna be doing this the entire time as they're trying to get themselves out of there. And as you see here, the buzzard will just lock onto enemies for you. Just make sure you're kind of a little bit ahead of where your teammates are so that you can get the guys in front of them. And also you might want to communicate with the ones who are inside the prison so that they can tell you where more guys are. But let's go ahead and skip to when we're exiting the prison. Alright, so my team here in the prison, they're finally exiting the prison. And make sure you just cover them here. And there's this big open field over here. This is where you're going to be landing the plane and picking up the prison team, the ground team, because it's wide open. You don't have to worry about any rocks or anything like that. All the bushes that you see are you can actually drive through, versus like some bushes in the game. But now I'm just gonna be sitting here waiting for the plane to come by. Sadly, the plane was kind of far away when the prison ground team got out, so they had to kind of wait here for a bit. But they're in this armored van, so they should be all right. Just make sure that they just watch their health bars and just stay in cover, as the demolition here is basically just gonna be blowing up any helicopters and police that come by. Make sure you also just watch what's below you, because there's just gonna be cops coming from basically every direction. But here comes the plane, so you're gonna have your pilot just kind of find the open area, get close to the plane or the van, and make sure your teams that are getting into the plane, they don't run into the front propeller. I've seen many people just run into that and die. So just press triangle. Don't even manually just try to get in. Just press triangle in the game. It will safely put you in there automatically. So just be careful of your surroundings. So once that happens, your team in the plane, they're going to try to get as much speed before they start lifting up. Because they see here, my friend who was in the plane, I don't think they really did that, because they definitely had a slow takeoff there. But it's alright, because we got the plane up and out of there. And watch out for the wind turbines, because you don't want to get knocked down by those and get blown up and die. So at this point, I'm just going to be guarding them for a little bit more. And once they're pretty much high up and away and we're basically losing the cops, just don't shoot anymore, because you're just wanting to lose the cops as much as possible at this point and get them away as quick as possible. So we're just going to be flying over to this drop off here. And I'd say fly as high up as you fly, higher than what you think, because you're going to be needing to get to this point where you're going to be jumping out and parachuting, and you're going to need a lot of altitude for that, because you're going to be parachuting. And also you're going to be just the person in the demolition, the person in the helicopter who is the demolition, don't shoot at any of the helicopters or cars, because we're just trying to lose the cops basically. As you see here, there's helicopters that are on my left who are higher up than me, so I don't even go for them because they won't see me. And there's also a police car back there, but if you just notice, I lost the cops, and so did my team in the plane. So they're going over to this beach area, this coast, and they're going to be jumping out of the plane. We're going to see a cutscene here of them jumping out. So it's pretty easy, but just make sure those who are jumping out do not kill themselves. Don't press triangle and cut your parachute and somehow you don't have another one and you die. Just be careful where you're going. And they had to lose the cops still, so that's the reason why they're kind of flying in circles, because they're waiting until they lost the cops. So they're flying back on over to the drop off, the yellow point, and if you see, they're pretty high up, so they're pretty safe. And then once you see this cutscene, that's how you know you're made it. So the three are going to jump out of the plane, even the pilot, because Rashkovsky takes over the plane. So these three, just be safe of where they're going, make sure they're alert and aware of their surroundings, and you and the helicopter are going to be picking them up, but I'm going to let them get down to the beach first, because you notice you just kind of saw them dropping down in the distance. So now you're just going to stay up high so that you don't accidentally cut them up and chop them into little pieces with your blades, because that's a possibility. It might seem ridiculous, but it's happened before, I'm sure, and we're basically just trying to avoid any risk as much as possible. So two of my teammates are down on the beach already, and the third one is just now basically about to get there. So when you're coming down, tell them to all just kind of watch out, get to the sides, and give you room to land. Also, make sure you don't land in the water. So now you're just gonna have your teammates just get in carefully. Don't run into the blade on the back, sort of like how they were getting into the prison bus or the prison or the plane at first. So now, once you pick up your team, you're just gonna go ahead and drive off to the city, and that's it for this heist. And that's how you basically do Prison Break without dying. So I hope this one was probably a little bit helpful, more helpful than the last one, since that's the FISA job, and basically that's anybody can do that. But I appreciate those who are watching this series. I'll try to get the next one up as soon as possible, and appreciate you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and I'm out.